If we didn't go to space, how did Louis Armstrong say one small step for man? Yeah, but the girl in the video, she calls him Louis.
I am in space. I am on the moon. Help.
How does that tie in? Oh, Louis Armstrong did the theme for this movie.
The theme for this.
We have all the
I don't remember what it was.
in the world.
In the world.
He doesn't
I
say
am
world.
in space.
He doesn't say world.
Help.
World.
Wow.
There it is. That's really good. It's pretty good. We
Come
watched.
on, dude. I could be Louis Armstrong if I could only play the fucking
violin,
trombone. What does he play?
Trumpet.
I was closer. Trumpet. Yeah, I was at least the same genre of instrument.
What did I say again? I don't remember.
Fucking cello or something.
I don't think that's what I said. We watched
genre,
On Her
though.
Majesty's Secret Cervix.
Right, and there's nothing secret about Her Majesty's
No.
cervix. Let me tell
May
you,
she
dude,
rest
it's
in peace.
Very public.
If they remade this movie, it
May
would be
she
on
rest in
His Majesty's
peace.
Secret Cervix.
True.
Before we
That's even less secret, dude.
Before we jump into discussion, I want to thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and send this podcast if you're enjoying the first minute and 43 seconds. Send it to someone
even if you're not.
who's got a real disgusting mole on their face.
Yeah. Send this to the ugliest British man you know. For both of us, it would be our good close friend and frequent collaborator, Joshua Clements.
Go ahead and send this to a gay person.
Send this to a straight person who pretends to be gay to sleep with a lot of women in Switzerland.
We'll get into it, but this is by far the gayest James Bond movie. So you might as well just send it to someone you know who likes men or women.
Yeah,
it could be a woman who likes women.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Gay people
Not
are
all
anything
gay
these
people
days.
are women. Yeah.
Send this to someone you know who is against the American two-party political system.
Ooh, that's good.
You
know,
I
like that. Ties
send
into our political
to,
discussion during the action
halfway
sequence.
through the movie. Send this to someone you know who wears almost exclusively khaki-colored clothing.
Send this to someone who wears almost exclusively kilts.
Send this to someone you know who has ever worn a kilt, just in their life.
Send this to someone who's been on a gondola.
Ooh,
Those, little
send this to
ski
someone
dangly
you
things.
know who just needs a man to dominate her. We'll get into it. It's part of the movie.
So yeah, it's a reference. We'll get
It wasn't me.
there.
I didn't say that. They did.
I didn't.
You don't understand.
I mean, look, his words, not mine. Send this to
Nelson Mandela.
What?
Send it. Go ahead and send this to Nelson Mandela if you got his number.
I mean, I guess he's dead. I think, but I guess if you know anyone connected to Nelson Mandela's estate, send it to them.
Well, if you got his phone number, you can text a number of a dead person.
You can still send it to him. Yeah, it's
he just won't watch it.
He's not gonna get it. Yeah.
But someone will. Someone's
maybe,
texting Nelson Mandela the link to a podcast. Somebody's gonna see it.
Someone's gonna see that for sure. Yeah. Send this to Send this to someone who eats chicken really, really fucking sexually, like in the most like sensual, sexually implicit way that you could possibly eat chicken. Send this to someone like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That went on for 2 minutes, by the way.
It's a great bit. Yeah, that's.
This
is
just to recap for those who didn't see last week. I'm a big Bond fan. I've seen all the Bond movies.
I'm a big bondage fan. I like being tied up in bed.
Daniel's not. He's kind of watching a lot of these for the first time.
I think I had only seen like part of this one that you showed me, like maybe just clips or something.
There's a lot of good clips and quotes. Me and Josh quote this movie frequently.
Right. You frequently mention this movie. Yeah. I definitely heard you say the dominate line before.
Gotta,
like,
yeah.
No doubt.
Gotta say that one. Gotta say, I'm getting a little stiff.
Right. I've got a bit of a stiffness coming on.
But so we're going through the James Bond movies. This, in my opinion, of the old Bond movies, I've got, from the Brosnan era, some movies that I really love, from the Craig era, some movies that I really love, even from the Roger Moore era. This is probably overall.
What about Timothy Dalton?
I like
Timothy
both
Dalton?
the Timothy Dalton's movies.
Really?
From if I'm just ever like, man, I really want to watch a James Bond movie, it's almost always this one. And the reason is I think it balances all of the James Bond tropes really well. This is the most James Bond movie. From the womanizing to the action to
the action is certainly superb. That's a standout part of this.
Well, no and doubt. Even like the old tropes, I think, are handled really well. The womanizing, the over the top villain.
Well, they certainly do a good job of working specifically the womanizing into the plot. Like there's an actual plot structural reason.
There's a reason James Bond keeps sleeping.
I mean, to an extent.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Like
we'll get there.
It's not that much of a reason, but we will get there.
But but to me, it's like it balances what I love about, because you'll see when we watch when we watch next week's Roger Moore movie, like it balances the things
right, for British eyes only.
Right. It balances the things that make old Bond great with the things that make new Bond great, if that makes sense. The pacing is really good. I think
until that one point where it isn't.
Until that one point for like 20 minutes where it is not.
He's got those stupid ass fucking
spikes
pocket
on the
gloves
wall.
on. Oh well, no, the spikes on the wall were awesome. Let's not diss the spikes on the wall.
I think George Lazenby is great in the role of James Bond as far as like being a replacement. In fact, I would go as far like
we should also say for people who don't know James Bond, George Lazenby is the first actor to replace James Bond. And we get a reference to this in the opening action sequence of this movie. He's the second actor to play James Bond after Sean Connery, who played him in what, 4 or 5 movies before this?
5.
Yeah, so a lot. He was the established James Bond.
Not only the first actor to replace James Bond, this is the first time. He's not just the first actor.
Ever,
this is the first movie. Which I don't know, because I don't know 60s cinema. Like, I probably should be talking about it. I don't know if that was commonplace. I don't think it was.
I don't think so. I mean, there were definitely examples of it that I can't think of, but probably not with like the main star kind of like.
Well, this was the movie that made James Bond a franchise that could last for 60 plus years.
Right.
Second longest running franchise in history. It would be the longest if it weren't for the Daniel Craig reboot, but Godzilla is the first. Godzilla had a longer running kind of original run there, followed by James Bond. As far as Western media goes, it's certainly the longest. Definitely influential. Like we'll talk about that stuff, I'm sure. But this was what gave it the legs to do that, because without this movie and without the replacement of Sean Connery, that's not possible, right? Like you've got to have that initial kind of soft launch. Now Sean Connery comes back for the next movie,
right? Because because people hated this, and also George Lazenby was a douchebag.
And I can see why people didn't like this movie. Like, it's definitely
Sure.
I said earlier while we were watching it.
It's an acquired taste.
Well, it's
sure.
like it's ahead of its time. It doesn't feel like a movie from the era. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the James Bond movies before it or the James Bond movies after it. It's just different, and it's a little weird, and it's cool, and it's quirky, and James Bond is gay.
Right.
We'll
He's,
talk about it.
Different.
Right, he's a homosexual.
That was a fantastic Mr. Fox reference, doing the little hand thing and then saying different. That's a James Bond deep cut, because Roald Dahl wrote the last James Bond movie and a bunch of other ones. This one was written by Ricardo Montalban.
Not actually.
It was just Richard something M. It sparked that in my brain.
The plot of this movie, I feel like, is complicated when you're watching, but it's going to be pretty simple to describe.
Right. It wasn't so much complicated. It was more just like it wasn't clear until it was clear, you know. It was very like we didn't know the full intent, which I guess again is kind of ahead of its time in the slow burn of revealing and maybe that wasn't intentional, and
it may have been intentional. I don't know.
Maybe.
Definitely,
I'm gonna say it wasn't.
Definitely a slow burn, but not in the like this movie's boring way.
Not
There's
a
always
slow
something
burn.
happening.
Not a slow burn in terms of action or even plot. Just in terms of the narrative,
plot making sense.
Like yes, the overarching like. Understanding why the villain Blofeld is doing what he's doing,
or Blowshart,
right? Yeah,
they call him Blowshart in this movie.
Yeah, well, that's his. You know, was that meant to be his real name or the
no?
Name
that was his fake name.
Because he was trying to yeah.
Let's do the plot. Let's break down the plot.
We'll get there. Yeah.
It opens. It starts, MI6 is looking for James Bond. They can't find him. They don't know where he's at.
Right, and while MI6 is looking for James Bond is looking for feet. He's using his sniper to spy on the Countess's toes.
Right,
which,
the Countess Tracy, soon to be Tracy Bond, but we'll get there.
Teresa, yeah, Teresa something or other, something Italian or whatever.
Different country,
Who
doesn't
cares?
matter. She's on the beach. She takes off her shoes. James Bond quickly glances over her breast and her backside to look down at her feet. She gets attacked. James Bond runs to the shore to rescue her. And he's successful.
First, does she get attacked, or does she just go in the water and try and drown herself?
That's it, yes. So she tries to kill herself. James Bond rescues her from that. Then both get attacked.
After he rescues her, yeah, they both get attacked. Yeah, and then
coolest
great
fight
opening
scene.
Action sequence.
Yeah, awesome.
He's like I mean, you were saying this felt a lot like the Craig movies in how like physically action as it was. Like he was actually hitting people, like throwing them. There's the one bit he like throws the guy into the little like pop-up tent kind of thing, and he just gets folded into it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He opens it by like he's got a gun on him, and he grabs the anchor behind him and just chucks it at the dude's head.
That's a good one.
Great stuff.
That's how it starts. That's a really good one. There's the guy he just tackled, he tries to drown in the ocean.
Yeah, well, before he tried to drown that guy, they were like fighting, and he hit him with this crazy right hook right under the chin. He like flipped almost fully backwards. God, that was sweet.
While that's happening, Tracy steals James Bond's car to drive to her car.
Right.
And then James Bond looks at the camera, winks, and says, "This didn't happen to Sean Connery."
He doesn't say that. He says, "This never happened to the other fella."
That's when we cut to the opening.
But yeah, nice little funny meta fourth wall break.
It was supposed to be
from what you say, a lot of people didn't like.
Yeah, audiences,
again, ahead of its time. Yeah,
and apparently that was part of the plot of this movie that got cut, and we'll probably talk about this a little more later, where it would have actually made sense.
There's one point where we'll definitely talk about this because it's a glaring plot hole if we don't.
Apparently, from what I understand, part of the original plot of this movie was supposed to open. The reason MI6 can't find James Bond, the reason he's kind of running around doing his own thing, is because
looking at feet
after James Bond's run-in with Spectre and Blofeld in the last movie, they had him undergo facial reconstruction surgery so that he looked different, and then James Bond chose to run away from MI6 in the process.
Which, would MI6 not know what his current facial reconstructive surgery
I don't know,
it doesn't matter.
But you would think they'd be able to find him anyway. It's MI6, but
right, because they're
and it's MI6 in this movie. They got tracking and whatever, but they can't find James Bond. But they cut that, so they cut that out of the movie entirely. This line, according to George Lazenby, if I remember correctly, is a holdover from that. Like this line specifically was supposed to be kind of the payoff to that. Like he was saying that in universe, not, it wasn't just like it was, this never happened to me when I looked like Sean Connery. Man, I wish I was still handsome. Now I'm ugly and I have stupid British moles.
I have this fucked up mole.
So Bond goes, he's tracking down Tracy. He winds up at a hotel casino situation. She makes a bet. She can't pay it. He pays for her. They sleep together. She pays back her debt. There's a couple of fights in the process.
Right. Before he sleeps with her, he fights
Shaq.
The big black guy. Sure, Shaq. Because he goes to her the room number that
this is when her. She says, "Come to my room later," and he immediately has champagne and caviar sent up.
Right. The waiter comes with the champagne. He goes, send it up to room fucking 4 whatever. And send some caviar too.
Yeah, but it's immediate. Like he's
like right after she leaves, the waiter shows up and he sends it up there. Yeah, and then he goes up there, fights the guy. Then when he goes back to his own room, he takes off his jacket and holster, and that's when she grabs his gun and pulls it on him, and then he slaps her like Connery.
Slap her, yeah. But that's got a payoff later on in the movie.
I get, yeah. She needed a man to dominate her.
She needed a man to dominate her for sure. They sleep together. She runs away. Bond is on his way to golf in the hardest fit I've ever seen. He's wearing an orange turtleneck,
it's so cool, and
with
the khaki
a
suit
khaki
over it,
and khaki pants.
Oh yeah,
it's so tough.
But
he gets kidnapped essentially by Tracy's father.
Right.
And he's basically telling like, hey, she's got some mental health issues she needs to deal with. She keeps trying to kill herself.
This bitch is fucked up. She needs a man to dominate her.
She had it's revealed in this scene, she had a previous husband who died in a car accident. And because of that, she's trying to kill herself. And that's when her father says she needs a man to dominate her, and offers James Bond £1 million dowry in 1962. I don't know the conversion rate. I know it's roughly like dollar for dollar.
I thought this movie came out in 69.
69. Either, it doesn't matter,
That's for that,
because the conversion rate of a pound to a dollar is roughly 1 for 1. So we're talking close to $1 million just to marry this woman. And it could have been different in 69, but still, like, it's close to $1 million either way.
It's a lot of money to marry and subsequently dominate this.
And he
woman.
says no, which is immediately followed by, there's a scene in the middle, but almost immediately followed by just a romance montage between Tracy and James Bond. Over Louis Armstrong being in space.
Right. Help. But yeah, then after the after the lovey-dovey montage, we get some exposition about he meets with Q or M, whichever one.
And M takes him off the
And
case at this point.
oh, is that what happens?
Yeah, M takes him off the case. He's like, "You're too close. It's too personal." It's the classic, like, "Give me your badge and gun."
Oh, sure.
That's when he yells at Monty. That's when Monty Penny says, "The problem is you never do anything with me." That's that scene.
Right.
So he packs up his bags, and then he goes to continue the case on his own. This is a classic kind of.
Right. Yeah.
Another thing
some...
that's ahead of his time, James Bond going rogue. That's a staple of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. He does it in almost all of them.
But we get some sort of exposition about the guy that he's pretending to be in the Swiss Alps or whatever.
That's after the scene with the Playboy.
Right. Yes.
So he goes on his own
where he steals the centerfold.
Yeah, he's kind of researching this on his own, and he comes up with his own plan. It isn't revealed until later, but James Bond's plan essentially is to pretend to be a guy who studies family ancestry. To go to Blofeld because Blofeld wants to become a duke. So Bond is gonna Count. That's right. Bond is gonna pretend to be.
I don't know the difference between those two, but
well, one of them's like 1 through 10. One of them's a college. Bond's gonna pretend to be this guy so that he can infiltrate Blofeld's secret organization and figure out what he's doing.
Right.
Before that, he breaks into a headquarters to find out what Blofeld is doing. And he's got this awesome little safe cracking device.
Yeah, that his little buddy he delivers to on the like crane with the like cement mixer or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's something attached to a crane. It's a big bucket, big metal bucket.
Yeah.
While he's doing it, he finds a Playboy and he just starts reading it. He's
just reading it. Yeah, he's like looking at the centerfold.
He's not even gooning, dude. He's just like
he wasn't even hard, dude. Like what the frick, man?
He didn't even have a random stiffness. But that's because he's gay. That's because James Bond's
gay.
Right. So he goes to the Swiss Alps.
Bond.
Where
and well after he takes the stuff from the safe or reads it at least, and then as he's leaving
he makes copies. The safe cracking device makes copies.
He makes copies, and then also as he's leaving he takes the centerfold from the Playboy magazine,
and it just shows
he's totally not gay. It just it straight up shows like the centerfold. But
and that's when he goes to the Swiss Alps. He's pretending to be a guy named Hillary or Hilly, as it were.
Right. Yeah. Sir Hillary.
Sir Hillary, who is a genealogist. Is that the right term?
Yes, a Scottish genealogist who's got a super sweet Sherlock Holmes kind of coat with the like shoulder flaps or whatever. Like he looks awesome.
Over a kilt with tiny round Harry Potter glasses.
Right. Well, I don't think does he have the kilt yet?
Not yet. He wears the jacket over the kilt later on.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's gay.
And he's gay.
Which we've referenced it. We're making a joke of it because it's funny. But
it is. It's very heavily implied.
It's not even implied.
Explicitly
it's said,
stated by the women. Yeah, that he's.
Also,
everyone thinks he's gay.
A pretty big deal because Sean Connery would have never done that.
Right.
Which is another. Like I said this while we were watching it. You really can't imagine Sean Connery in this movie.
It's tough for sure. Other than the part where he slaps the woman. That's the only part where it's like, fine. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. This character did used to be Sean Connery. I remember that.
And 1969.
Right.
1969, James Bond, famous Playboy James Bond, is pretending to be a gay man.
classic super cool male fantasy character James Bond is parading around as a gay man. Yeah.
Not
Which is
only
wild.
not only is it like because we're gonna play it for jokes with the rest, but also like
Sure.
that's
We've already been playing it for
right.
jokes.
We're right. That's a really interesting plot point. It's a cool plot point, and I even like what they did with it because well,
Yeah.
I mean it's goofy, but it's funny.
I mean they use it as a silly way of somewhat explaining the silly James Bond playboy sleeping with every woman he encounters stuff.
Literally all of them. Well, but not. I don't
every
even
single
mean
one.
that. It's like it's actually James Bond being a spy for once.
Right, sure. Yeah,
This is
he
the
is
first
genuinely
time.
undercover.
This is the first time in 6 movies, we've actually seen James Bond do some real, true, other than like searching his apartment or fighting some people, some real, true undercover spy stuff. And I like that they took it as far as they did, even if it might be a bit dated in the long run.
Sure.
You know, it's cool that they did. So James Bond, he gets to the Swiss Alps at Blofeld's kind of facility. He's trying to figure out what they're doing. He goes to dinner, and when he walks in the room, there's just what was it, 8? I think like there's just 8 baddies
At
here.
least 8, and just all of them so comically, cartoonishly horny for him. Like
yes.
they all instantly, as soon as he walks in, this is when he has the kilt on, by the way.
He does have the
he
kilt
walks
on,
in
yeah.
the kilt,
It's important.
all of them want to have sex with him.
Yeah.
The kilt is very important for later.
It's interesting. All of them want to have sex with him because he's the first man who's been there in a very long time, presumably ever.
Right.
He's the first man who's been there,
Yeah,
and
other than the staff, which they don't count.
Right. Also, they want to have sex with him because he's gay.
Right.
A couple of them mention it, so like that's not me. That's not.
Yeah, and no, that's and he. I mean, he uses that as a. He uses that line 3 times?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Usually I'm not into women, but you're not usual.
You're the exception. Yeah. But we'll get there.
We will get there, but
and he walks
in, so we're
and
dinner,
one of the
and
women specifically, Nancy Pelosi, is just chowing down on some chicken legs.
Yes,
I mean
she's they all she's sucking down the chicken. The one
Nancy
like deep throats the banana.
That's
Nancy's
true.
sucking the chicken.
The black one eats the banana.
I think it was the black lady eats
they're
the banana.
all. This is important. They're all culturally from different areas of the world. Like they're all from different races.
But also, and I don't know how much they super went into. I know they did a bit with the chicken lady, but Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
But they're
grippy
all,
Nancy,
like
grippier Nancy Pelosi.
Right, which is saying something, dude, because you know that shit. God. But I digress. But all of them, they're specifically the chicken one. She's like, yeah, I used to be, I used to hate chicken. It used to make me like break out in hives. Like I couldn't even look at it. Like it would make me sick. And then another one says that like it's like yeah, I used to be the same with potatoes, and it shows that she's eating potatoes. Like all of them have these different meals that presumably used to be something they didn't like.
Right. That's once we get to the Blofeld portion, like
there, yeah.
Once he's talking to Blofeld, I'll go through and give my theory as to what Blofeld's plot
we'll
is.
Back to that, yeah.
But yeah, that is true. Grippier Nancy Pelosi is essentially eating a chicken leg.
Yeah, and not in the way you would imagine.
Oh no!
Not in the way you'd think.
I mean, she's just eating it. Like she's eating it. She's getting the meat off the bone.
She's
but
eating it relatively
she
normal.
Is both getting the meat off the bone and she getting the meat off the bone.
Yeah, she's getting off the meat on the bone. You know what I'm saying? But
and then James Bond brings up the fact that he has a genealogy book. He's lying here. He's pretending to be Tilly. He does have the book, but and then all of the girls are like, "Well, bring it to my room to show me." And the lady who's kind of running this part of it says
the,
no.
the chicken leg, the chicken man.
But grippier Nancy Pelosi writes her room number on James Bond's leg with lipstick.
And then here we get the greatest line in the movie where he
second.
He goes, okay, sure, but he goes, yeah, I've just had a bit of a stiffness come up.
He says, I have to
go.
Then
he quickly goes,
and they ask why, and he said, well, I've had a bit of a stiffness come up.
He's like, in my shoulder.
In my shoulder. It's like but that's what I've heard from Ghostbusters.
Right. So
like,
that's what I've heard.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
He goes back to his room. He goes to Nancy Pelosi's room. He sleeps with her. He feeds her a bunch of lines about how she's the only woman he's attracted to, and yada yada yada.
Right.
After that, we see the mind control happening.
Right.
So like Blofeld comes over the intercom and is like, "You like chicken now? You're not allergic to chicken anymore.
You used to hate chicken, but now you love it. Now it's so good."
And then he says, "Like you're gonna do whatever I say because I cured you of your chicken allergy."
Right.
He goes back to his room.
Then the other lady is there.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There's another one.
One of the other.
She doesn't look quite as grippy as Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
But who does?
maybe Nancy Pelosi now, but not prime.
Not even now, dude. Come on.
Not even now.
Nancy Pelosi just reached her prime. But he feeds this woman. The funniest part is he feeds her all the exact same lines.
Yeah,
which is funny.
Like verbatim.
It's funny when you're putting it in the context of man trying to sleep with woman. It's cool when you put it in the context of spy undercover trying to figure out what's going on and using these women for that purpose. Does that make sense? Like that's another one of the reasons like this movie I think just kind of works. Like despite
he's using the classic James Bond playboy sexuality, sleeping with everyone bit, but for a genuine spy like purpose, like he's actually trying to figure stuff out,
which is normal now because that's what the Craig movies did like the whole time. And so like now we've seen 20 years almost. It has been 20 years of Daniel Craig James Bond. We've seen that, but at this point, it just did not exist yet, and so it's cool to see it. This is when Bond he plays a little. What's the sweeping thing with the curling?
Curling.
Plays a little curling, and
he
then
goes curling. And first he like eats shit, and then they're like, "Oh, you can go again."
Right, he's pretending to be clumsy, a la Clark Kent.
Bunch more. Right, a la gay person. But
they're all pretending. That's what you said. You just said they're all pretending.
Well, I was more saying they're all clumsy, but if you take it that way, that's your words, not mine. But yeah, a bunch more of the women flirt with him,
including an Asian woman, which is notable. Just given the last
right,
movie.
That's a reference to the last movie. Yeah.
And at this point, this is where Bond and Blofeld have their first interaction. Yeah.
Yes,
well, and
this is when we should get into more of the
we'll kind of take a break from the plot.
Yeah.
Blofeld and Bond meet. Bond is still undercover as Hillary, or Hilly, as he told the women to call him.
Right. Yeah. Why?
Sir Hilly.
Sir Hillary or Hilly to the ladies. Yeah.
And Blofeld wants to be named as the heir to a nation.
Right. He wants to be ruled as the count fucking
Blowshart.
Blowshart.
Yeah.
Blowshart.
Not
Blowshart.
And it is a group that is part of the United Nations. So he wants that. Bond basically tells him, "Hey, you're not actually part of this, even though you don't have earlobes." Blofeld.
Well, he doesn't say this explicitly yet. I think he's like, there's the ear thing isn't enough. I need more evidence. He's kind of leading him on, even though he clearly knows.
And Blofeld says something
and
like,
maybe
I feel it in my
maybe it's meant to be
bones.
implied that maybe it's meant to be implied that Blofeld also knows.
I think it is. I think
James Bond is because
well, but here's the thing that doesn't make
obviously,
sense.
as we said when we were watching it, they met just last movie. Granted,
Just last movie.
It was two different actors playing the characters.
Correct. But they still met face to face.
They're supposed to be the same person that met in the last sequence of the last movie that we watched just last week.
And they're mortal enemies.
Right.
James Bond's been chasing this guy for 5 movies now, right? Because that's part of, I guess, what you miss is it's like the first 5.5 James Bond movies. Spectre and Blofeld specifically are the they're the Thanos of the James Bond cinematic universe. But they've met already, right? Like they know each other. They've seen each other's faces.
Face to face. They have met and interacted. They've referred to each other by name in just the last film.
And now Bond here, it knows who Blofeld is.
Right.
Like he knows what he's after, but Blofeld seemingly doesn't recognize Bond.
But maybe he does, because because he later on, and we'll get there obviously, but he does.
He figures it out, but it really seems like he figures it out in the movie.
Well, they never show a point when he figures it out. It's just suddenly he reveals, like, oh yeah, I know that you're James Bond. He
crushes the glasses and he's like, you can't hide from me or something.
Well, yeah, but there wasn't any like specific thing he noticed that made him do that. It was just a thing he did.
But more so than even that, what gave Bond the impression? Now, I understand in the original script he was supposed to have facial reconstruction surgery. What gave Bond the impression he could just sneak into this place with glasses, introduce himself to his mortal enemy, and not be recognized? Given as in the last movie they've established...
Homeboy read too many Superman comics, man.
Like, in the last movie they established, not only does Blofeld know Bond is like a famous spy.
He's famous, yeah.
He's a world-famous spy.
A hilarious oxymoron.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But yeah,
and so they meet. They have their little interaction. We don't yet know Blofeld's plan. That comes a little later. I'm struggling to remember what happens in between the reveal and now. I can only assume Bond. The ski chase.
The one guy. Well, before the ski chase, the one guy who gave Bond the safe cracking device earlier. He's like climbing the mountain. And he gets shot at, and they tell him to kick rocks. And then right after that is when Blofeld reveals to Bond that he knows who he is, because he's like, your little buddy is the ski chase before?
The ski chase happens before that, because the ski chase is what leads Bond back to Blofeld.
I'm going to take your word for that. It doesn't sound right, but I'll take your word for that. But either way, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The point is, both of those things happen.
Right. And so Bond and Blofeld have another interaction where Bond kind of lays out his plan. And Blofeld's plan is a little confusing, but I think I've got it.
Okay.
I think I've got it. So Blofeld's plan is he finds a bunch of women from various different countries who struggle from allergies that in a very dated 1960s kind of way tie back into their cultural heritage. Like a white woman is not going to be able to not eat chicken in her country without some kind of struggle. An African woman is not going to be able to eat bananas because this movie's a little racist without some kind of struggle. The Irish woman was the potato woman, so they all kind of tie in.
Right.
And so because they're struggling, Blofeld takes them, promises them that he can rid them of their allergies, and somehow has concocted a way to rid them of their allergies. Blofeld in this movie is a medical mastermind. Alongside doing that, he has also been developing a toxin that will sterilize livestock and plants. So any vegetable, any grain, any fruit, and any animal that is livestock. So he's developed both the toxin.
I mean, I would think it would make more sense. I know this wasn't the plot, but I'm just now thinking this. It would have made more sense if he somehow like found a way to weaponize each of their individual allergies so that it was like every white person couldn't eat chicken, every Irish person couldn't eat couldn't eat potatoes. That way it was,
yeah, well, that would be
a more specific thing, and it
maybe more poetic.
tied into the but also just makes a little, I mean, not, I don't want to say logical sense, but narrative sense.
The goal
maybe?
of the women is simply they're the delivery mechanism for the toxin. So that's the goal. So that's why they're all from culturally diverse areas. He's going to send them each back to their own continent, and they will deliver the toxin that will kill
the virus. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll kill the livestock, will kill the grain, will kill the whatever. So that was kind of their purpose. But I think it's a very broad spectrum drug. I think it's going to kill the potatoes in Ireland, and it's also going to kill the chickens. Like, I think it's, from what I understand, it's pretty broad.
I mean, it seemed like it was, it's killing everything.
And so he's setting up the location, which I feel like it's a pretty high stakes mission for, like, this is a pretty high stakes thing. It just doesn't feel like it because they don't do a great job building it up, and it
expressing how high the stakes are.
Because if you think about the stakes for just a second, that's the food.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's everything.
Like, we're eating grass and nuts from here on out. We're eating peanuts and dandelion root.
Right.
Like, it's a pretty high, like, one of the higher stakes, maybe even more so than the Cold War, which was the stakes of the last movie. Like, nuclear war is pretty bad, but not having any food at all anywhere is probably worse.
Right. It's at least more unique stakes.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool villain plot.
It is. It really is. They just don't do a very good job of showing how cool and unique it is.
They never do the thing where they cut back to someone at MI, and they can't because Bond's working on his own, but they never do the thing where they cut back to someone at MI6 and they're like, oh, good God, if he does this, then we'll all starve to death.
This will mean the end of the food source. We'll never be able to eat again.
We'll run out of food.
Good. Oh, great heavens.
We have 4 years worth of grain stocked up. After that, we'll run out of food eternally. Like they don't have that.
Yeah.
Which this movie kind of needed, I think. James Bond needs a second man in this movie. He needs his CIA agent. He needs his Felix Leiter. He needs a second man there with him in this movie specifically to kind of like hype him up. And what Blofeld wants in exchange is control over the United Nations. So it's a twofold plot. He wants to be made the Count so that he can be part of the United Nations.
Count Blowshart.
He wants to be Blowshart so that he can be part of the United Nations, and then wants to threaten the United Nations with this so that he can control the United Nations, so that because Blofeld's big thing throughout all of these movies has been control over world governments.
He wants control and he wants power. He wants to be, I mean, it's the classic,
Blofeld
Hitler,
wants to
God
be the
Emperor.
leader.
He wants to rule the world.
Yeah, he wants to be the leader of the one world government. And once again, they don't do a great job establishing the stakes, but they do reveal that all of these women are going back to their home country.
Right.
With the toxin and the mind control. They've been mind controlled so that when Blofeld says release the toxin, they all do it.
Right, yeah, because they all get the Christmas presents with the little
It's a little
thing.
makeup thing, but it's like it's not. It's a
It's so
communicator, and
so stupid. It's like,
with this movie also, I think that's another thing too. If I were fixing this movie for a modern era, I would
I'd make it much less sexist.
well, I would do that for sure. I would send all the women back home before James Bond knew the villain plot, because there's no
Right.
countdown in this movie. There's no like, oh, Blofeld's gonna do this now. It's more like he's gonna do this at some point, and we don't know
Right,
when.
right.
Like at some point in the future, Blofeld is gonna release this toxin. There's no like, it's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen because he doesn't have his in with the UN yet. All these women are still in Switzerland at this point. The stakes feel low because because it doesn't happen, and it's not about to happen in this movie. Like last movie, you go back to the end. That ship, the butthole ship, was about to swallow the U.S. ship
It was
right
yeah,
as James
it
Bond
was right
stops
there,
it.
yeah.
And this movie, I think, would have had it would have been a little more exciting had that happened.
Right.
Blofeld tells Bond his plot, throws him in prison. Bond escapes. This is where the plot this is where it slows down for about 20-30 minutes. Well, he's escaping with his with his pants pockets on his hands as gloves.
Yeah, we get the slow burn of him like climbing through the gondola and the shitty pacing, but then pretty quickly after that, we get
Some cool car
a
chases.
super cool car chase through the like snowy like racetrack kind of thing, where he gets in the car with Tracy, who's somehow just
She's
here. We
just
don't
there.
really see why. She just happens to be
I
in the
can't.
Swiss Alps because she's a rich girl. Rich girls go to the Swiss Alps.
Well, and
Why
also
not?
knowing what I know about Tracy from this movie, because Bond, they don't like break up or anything, which is how this movie
Right. Well,
probably would have
yeah,
been handled
they are.
today.
Yeah, they're.
I would
Mhm.
imagine Tracy and her father were looking for Bond throughout this process.
Okay.
They
That
never
makes
say
sense.
that. Could have
Yeah.
been cut. Could have not been in the script at all. Like Tracy is a pretty.
Sure.
You honestly like,
But it
other
makes
than
sense. Yeah.
the stuff her father says and the fact that she falls for James Bond, which no self-respecting woman would ever do.
Oh, sure.
She's a pretty like.
She's a pretty smart cookie.
Not
Yeah.
only a smart
She's
cookie, like she's a very capable female character in a
yeah,
movie and series of movies where there are not many of those.
right.
I think Tracy really stands out among other Bond girls. Like the Bond girl from last week's movie was
Yeah.
just she slept with Bond and then she needed Bond to save her. But Tracy kind of holds her own a little
Right.
bit. She's got that fight. She kills that guy. Um,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Tracy was not in the Swiss Alps. And I haven't read the book, so I don't know. I started it. I never finished it. Um, I
Yeah. I can't read.
I don't know how. I would not be surprised if Tracy was not there looking for Bond. But
Mhm.
anyway, it doesn't really matter because there's an awesome car chase, and they wind up on a track. They go through the car chase.
Then they cut off. They end up in a barn. They sleep together on the hay.
Naturally, yeah. Well, there's a
I
blanket.
mean, as you do, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not just on the hay, but it is still,
It's gotta be cold.
on the hay. It's gotta be. Yeah. I mean, one fur coat between the two of them. Mercy.
Tracy gets kidnapped by
Mhm.
Blofeld and his goons. Blofeld and the goons kidnap
Goon.
Tracy.
Blofeld's gooning.
No, Bond is gooning.
Right. The Playboy cutout.
Um, Bond goes back to MI6. He's like, "Hey, I've been working on the Blofeld case. I'm really close. I think I can get him this time. Just let me do it." And M, of course, is like, "Bond, you're the greatest detective I've ever seen in my life. Go get
You're the
him."
best there is. You've got it. We'll give you whatever you want.
But he says it British. He's like, "You can get whatever you want."
Right.
So he takes Tracy's dad. They rescue Tracy. Tracy kills a guy on some cool wall spikes.
Then we get the cool there's the cool because they're all like coming in on helicopters.
Yeah, it's
and you get the
awesome.
cool. And this was the action sequence we kind of talked over, but still got most of 'cause it was just
from
an
pretty
action,
much
like,
him escaping with the gloves up until this point is where we were just chatting about the political and economic state of the world
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, can we just talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? Everyone's always like, but yeah, there was the cool. They were like shooting up the cool Swiss Alps hilltop mountaintop mansion with the helicopter guns. Then yeah, Tracy gets jumped and she slams the guy on the wall spikes, which we were just waiting for.
I mean,
like
we
as soon
saw
as we saw
spikes on the
those, we were
wall.
like James Bond has to kill someone on these.
But
and then
he
it turns
didn't.
out
Tracy
it was
did.
Tracy,
Yeah.
which is cooler, arguably.
Yeah. Tracy's dad punches her in the face. They set a bomb off.
Yeah.
There's a bomb on a timer. They're going to blow the whole thing
they
up.
set off the bomb.
That is the ticking clock in this movie. The ticking clock should have been Blofeld is about to...
It was a very short ticking clock. Like, it was...
Yeah.
It was from when they said the bomb was being set off to when they got off was like...
a minute and a
like
half.
5.
Yeah.
Like, so much less. Yeah. Like...
Bond and Blofeld both escape. They're the only two left in the building. They get on bobsleds.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, the bobsled fight was kind of lackluster.
It was silly. It was a lot of,
rear
projection,
projection,
clear green screen, rear projection. Yeah. But
then it gets awesome.
But then it gets so cool. Once Bond's bobsled gets like blown up or
he falls off
knocked off. Yeah,
he throws the gun at him.
It.
No, it was the grenade.
Somehow makes him crash. No, it was the gun, I think, because the grenade is later.
Well, the grenade was when Bond was on his own bobsled.
It was, yeah.
It was the grenade.
He also threw the gun. Though.
Yeah, he did do that. But Bond winds up riding the back of Blofeld's bobsled.
He gets thrown off, and he runs after it, jumps, grabs onto the back, and then... Are we sure the grenade wasn't it? Because I feel like I remember Blofeld,
he pulls the grenade and he drops it in the floor of his own bobsled, then picks it up and throws it.
That's what it was. Yeah. You're right, twin.
Bond and Blofeld fight a little bit. Blofeld just gets like his neck caught in a tree.
Oh yeah, and he's got what's the branch line?
He's just like, looks like he needs to branch out or something stupid.
So
dumb. And then we cut back to England, back to MI6. Bond's reinstated.
Mm-hmm. Bond,
and then
he's good. He's the captain of the cupboard, and then it's
he's
his wedding.
Yeah, and then we're at his wedding. Everybody's there. Q is there in I think his second scene of the movie.
And then Moneypenny's there in the saddest scene of the movie.
Dude, it is like it's brutal.
It's heartbreaking.
Once again, this is another thing that's like when you look at this movie from a modern perspective, this is a woman who is very clearly in love with James Bond.
And James Bond is just an asshole.
In a 1960s perspective,
and uses her.
She's just one of the women who's pining over him. But from a modern perspective, she's very clearly in love with him.
Even in a 1960s perspective, he's still like an asshole.
Well, my perspective of the 1960s is based on James Bond movies. So
right, is that everyone was an asshole, right. Yeah. Which is probably pretty apt.
She is literally sobbing, like she's crying her eyes out at James Bond's wedding.
But she's got that shit on, dude.
Yeah, dude, she's so fly.
Every Moneypenny fit, dude. She's so fucking fly.
That same actress plays Moneypenny up until the Timothy Dalton movies. Yeah, she's gonna go for like another 15 years after this. But anyway, she's sobbing. Bond throws her hat at her. Tracy and Bond drive off. And then the big like finale of the movie, and this is another kind of divisive thing at the time, not really from in the modern day.
I was gonna say, was this the start of the classic Bond's love interest getting killed off?
Not necessarily, because that had happened. The Craig movies do that a lot. I
feel like that happens in every single one of the Craig movies.
Well, and the Craig movies, they've kind of said like, Craig's overall arc as Bond is based off of this story specifically.
Wild.
Which is why like it makes like, and it makes sense. Like it does feel like that. Tracy's
Yeah, for
name
sure.
is brought up several times, like 4 or 5 times in various
Mm.
movies throughout the franchise. People, I think it happens in one of the Brosnan movies. Somebody's like, "Well, have you ever been married?" And he says, "Once." She gets shot in the
Right,
head.
right.
She dies. Bond is sad
Yeah,
about
by
it.
the Blofeld's Fraulein, whatever the fuck her name was.
Fräulein, yeah, and Blofeld is there. He's in a
There.
silly neck brace,
Right,
kind
right.
of hinting at
But
a
it was, I think
cliffhanger.
it was Fraulein that shot it or shot her,
Yes,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah. The next movie, because we're not gonna watch it, but the next movie, the opening, the cold open is Bond hunting down Blofeld. He kills him in the first like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And he's played by an actor from
Spoilers
the franchise. Um,
from an actor from the last movie, right?
but it's like,
He was a side character in the
yeah,
last
he was
movie.
troll face guy.
Right, yes.
But that is such a
So,
like. I would have loved to have seen a direct sequel to this movie. I would have
okay.
loved a Bond revenge plot going after the man who
Oh,
killed the only woman
absolutely.
he's
Yeah.
ever loved. Like every other woman he slept with was just a woman he slept with. This is the only woman Bond
Some
has ever
bitch, yeah. This
loved.
is, yeah. Because it adds such more of an emotional and personal level to this seemingly emotionless,
Man, yeah.
just
When
yeah,
that's the
like
thing I think
it's
about this movie that's so great is it is Bond as a real character, not as male
mm,
fantasy. And there's a lot of the male fantasy stuff.
there's still a lot of it's still the 60s. We didn't fully do away with the male fantasy thing yet, but it
That won't happen
is
until the 2000. That won't happen until 2006. But
right.
this is the first and the only for a long time Bond movie that treats James Bond as a character, not just as an object of the male fantasy. And I think it should be
Mm,
commended for that. It is of the classic Bond. I think my favorite Bond overall is probably one of the Brosnan movies. It's likely The World or Tomorrow Never Dies. I think that's a really great Bond movie. But of the classic Bond, like Connery through Timothy Dalton, I think this is probably my favorite Bond movie.
yeah, it's a good
It
one
just
for
is.
sure.
It's the definition of this movie was ahead of its time, I think. And I know it's still
Yeah,
dated in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways it's not. And
absolutely. Yeah.
I if you are just
But
like,
I can fully see why, because of that, a lot of people at the time didn't
oh
like
yeah,
it,
no, for sure. I yeah, because
Like
people wanted
it
the male
makes
fantasy,
sense. Yeah,
you know,
because this was a male fantasy franchise, and when it even ever so
ever
slightly
like
stops being
barely,
that,
yeah.
the tiniest bit, it's just yeah, fuck this guy.
Um,
He's gay.
right. He wears kilts. Um,
Oh
but
man.
yeah, no, I do. I think this is if you're looking to if you're the person who's like, man, I really want to get into the old Bond movies. This is
Yeah.
probably a pretty good entry point. The Bond franchise is not something you need to watch in order. You don't. There's no continuity. None of it makes
Absolutely not.
sense. This is a pretty good way to enter in, and it would be less jarring that
Yeah.
way too.
For
Um,
sure, especially yeah. This would act as a good jumping off point for either way you wanted to go. If you wanted to watch this and then go backwards to some of the Connery movies, or go forwards to some of the later movies, it would work either way as the sort of bridge between that.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I've praised this movie enough.
It's good. It's a good
It's a
film. Good
yeah,
flick, dude.
it's a great one,
It's
and
good
it's
stuff.
fun, and it's dated and funny enough to still scratch that old Bond itch too.
Right. Yeah.
He needs a she needs a woman, she needs a man to dominate her.
I mean, dude, who doesn't need a man to dominate them? You know what I'm saying, bro?
I do.
Like,
I can tell you that much.
I know you do. That's why I'm here.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No,
I don't
no,
either. I
think
feel like
good.
I've said it all. Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, could we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now?
There's too many Blowsharts. You know what I mean? Not enough Tracys. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. We need more Tracys in this world.
And Nancy
Straight up.
Pelosi grippy.
We need more Nancy Pelosi's in this world. God, I know that shit gripping like no one's
Yeah, not
business.
necessarily for political reasons
No,
at all. Like
I
in
mean,
fact, not for
definitely
political.
not that.
Yeah,
But
but
for like
Need a
give
bunch
me
of
like give me like
50
5
Nancy
minutes,
Pelosi.
5 minutes alone with 50 Nancy Pelosi's, dude. That's like all I need.
I can die after that.
I probably will.
James Bond will return in whichever Roger Moore movie we decide to watch next week.
Right? Yeah. Roger Moore, bitches.
Roger from American Dad.
Oh, Roger.
Yeah.
like the little robots from the prequels. Roger.
The clankers.
Oh, hey, come on, watch the hard R. That's clank to you.
That's gonna do it for this episode of Semi Pro.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for watching. We appreciate it. If you made it this far, go ahead and do all the things that you normally do.
Like, subscribe, send this to your mother, send this to Nancy Pelosi if you know her. In fact, if you know Nancy Pelosi, send
my phone number is
send her my Instagram at Savage Comics.
My phone number is 931-877-5371. I need you to go ahead and send Nancy Pelosi my phone number if you know her.
Oh yeah, tell her I'll make her know what it feels like to be a woman, and I'll show her that I'm a man.
Make sure Nancy Pelosi knows. I'll take her to court, dude. We'll see you next time on Semi Pro.
Y'all stay safe.